Hi everyone, welcome back to our Azure DevOps learning series. In the previous section, we have learned about the branching strategy and Azure Repo settings. Today, we will go a little deeper onto the Azure Repo, understanding its core services that we are going to be used every day. That means what is pull request, how that has been done, the files, commits, branches, and the other basic services. So let's get started. Let's have a quick recap on to what is Azure Repos. Azure Repo is a set of Git repository hosted in the Azure DevOps. It allows the developers to collaborate, review the code, maintain the history, and build a high quality software using the Git workflow. Let's get started onto the actually how the repository services looks like and then how it will go and to be used in the day-to-day activities. Let's see on the left hand side. If you remember, we have created our first repo in the last session, and there we did a lot of repository settings, how that will help. Today we will go on to the services. So on the left side, our first service under the repo is files. What does that file means? This is the service where all the code base exists corresponding to a specific branch or a repo. If you can see, as soon as I click on the files, whatever be the code base, either it's a file or a folder in that particular repository or the selected branch, it will be shown up here. And as soon as you can click on any file, the corresponding content will be visible on the right side panel. And if you want to see the preview or a history of that particular file, when it get changed, what happened to this, who did the change, everything get be recorded as part of the history. And then coming up as an compare that from the previous change to the one which is currently available, if you want to see the change, that will be visible right there onto the compare section. Okay, coming to the next one, the next service, which is commit. Pretty important for any developers whenever they're going to be start working and using the Azure DevOps. Commit. Let's click on this one. As soon as I click on commit, you can see it shows me two different option as part of the graph. One is something which the changes has been done on November 15. Another is on November 20. It means on these 2 days, there were some changes that has been done and committed to this particular branch of my repository. Let's see if we want to see what changes has been done and to be verified, let's click on this commit and then you will figure it out. Okay, on the day of 15 there was one new file. If you can see this plus symbol, new file has been added up onto my repository. Okay, similarly, if you can go back and want to see what changes that has been done onto the November 20, let's see. And as soon as I edit it up, you can see that there is a new file again, the test cases.cs has been edited on that particular day. That is the way you can play around and verify that when the commit to that particular repository has been done and who make a change and what change that has been done. So all those things has been recorded as part of the commit. Now coming to the next one, again the important one, that pushes. Similar to the commit, with all the detail, considering the priority on who did that particular push on the branch that we are working on. So now you can see that it's with me that I've done the changes, what changes that has been done, like in which particular file with the commit ID. This is the commit ID that has been created, and then the detail of the changes that has been done. Again, the another version of the commit, but in terms of the pushes, who pushed the change and what changes that has been pushed. The next one, again, the important one correspondingly that we had in the last session about also as a branching strategy, and that is where the branch came into the picture. For a particular repository, whatever be the different branches that has been created, either by you or by your team, all the branches has been shown up as part of the branches service available on the Azure DevOps, where you can see the first tab, which is mine. It means whatever be the branches created by me is being shown up here. If there is another branches other than me has been created by the team, those branches is also going to be come up as part of all. Then you can switch it to any branch that you want to be work on to verify the code. You can click on that particular branch and start using and see the code for that particular branch. However, if you remember on our last session, we learned about how to do the branch policies as well. That is there on this right hand side three triple dot. You can click and you can go and see the corresponding branch related settings or a services or a policy that you can go and check it out. Okay, coming to the next one, again very rare to use, but this is pretty important whenever we have a release versioning to be maintained. That is where the tags came into the picture. What does the tag means? That whenever you want a particular code that has been committed to a branch, you want that code to be referred later. That particular commit or a code, we are going to be converted as a tag so that it is easy to be referred. Whenever it is needed, we can easily go back to that particular tag where the corresponding committed code is being available, and it is easily to be refer it up as and when needed. So how to create a tag? Let's show it to you. I want to be create a new tag that is, I will give a name as uh, microservice 6. Okay, and on which particular branch I want to be tagged at that particular time, or if I want to be specifically on the commits, if there is any that is available, if I store that one. Okay, so those things we can select it up based upon what I want to be create a new tag. And then as soon as take an example, I selected the feature here, I will add the description tag of my feature branch dated 12/1/25 so that I can refer it up as and when needed, and I have created the tag. Now you can see the tag has been created. After that, if anyone make any change onto the feature branch and at any time I want to be go back to my 1st December code base, I can easily go to the tag and refer that one rather than I have to be look for what all changes that has been done before that and all those things. Tag is pretty easy to be go and refer it. The next one is pull request. Again, for all the developers to be use it up as and when they are making any change to their individual branch and want that change to be merged to the development branch or a release branch or a main branch. Pull request needs to be raised. And whenever the pull request is going to be raised, let's click on that one. It will give an option that from which branch as a source needs to be selected and merge it onto which branch as a target. As soon as these two has been defined, then it will show that what all changes, like how many files are going to be changed and number of commits that has been done between these two code base that is going to be merged. That is how it has been easy to be figured it out what all different files are going to be merged onto my target branch and how many commits is going to be there. If we want to be skip, that is where it needs to be done earlier. Okay. As soon as the new pull request has been started, it up needs to be give a title, a description, and the reviewer. If you remember, we have set it up the branch policy where if you want to be add a mandatory reviewer always, that needs to be go as part of the branch policies. However, if that is not been there, still you want a pull request to be raised and needs to be get it review, you can add that particular user right here as and when needed, followed by the work item to be linked. Again, if you remember that on the branch policies, this is something that you can mandate it in order to have end-to-end traceability of what pull request that has been raised for which particular feature or user story the pull request has been raised, so that as and when needed you can do the backtrack from the work item to the pull request or from pull request to the work item as and when needed, and then just create it that your pull request is going to be done. And as soon as you create a pull request, there are many options came up. You can easily verify, or someone who is reviewing it, they can verify what all files is going to be updated, what all updates are there. If there is any conflict, it will show the conflicts as well. And after the approval, there is an option to complete the pull request or merge the code together. Just click on this one and then it will give the option that how you want this code to be merged. You remembered we talked about our merge type as well on the branch policies while and also the repo setting. So these are all whatever that we want to be selected it out and then complete this merge task. And as soon as that has been done, the code is going to be merged onto the main branch, and that is how the pull request is happen. So today we learned all about the different services that Azure Repo have, all the different functionality that is being available and which all are important. In the next session or the next video, we are going to be started our Azure pipeline, right from the basics to be cover up all the complex and the different type of pipeline that is needed for our day-to-day activity. Thank you so much, and let's connect on to the next video.